Ancient Greece, the birthplace of Western civilization, the land of gods and thinkers. More than 3,000 years ago, along the rugged mountains and scattered islands of the Aegean Sea, a remarkable civilization began to rise. This civilization would give the world democracy, philosophy, theater, mathematics, and some of the greatest stories ever told. It was the civilization of ancient Greece. From the towering temples of Athens to the disciplined warriors of Sparta, the Greeks created ideas that would shape the future of humanity. But this extraordinary culture did not appear overnight. Its story begins long before the famous philosophers and great empires. Long before classical Greece emerged, powerful early civilizations flourished in the Aegean world. One of the earliest was the Minoan civilization, which developed around 3000 BC on the island of Crete. The Minoans were master sailors and traders. Their ships traveled across the Mediterranean, connecting Egypt, the Near East, and Europe. Their capital city, centered around the grand palace of Knossos, contained complex architecture, vibrant frescoes, and advanced drainage systems. But around 1450 BC, the Minoan civilization began to decline, possibly due to volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, or invasion. As the Minoans faded, another powerful culture rose on the Greek mainland, the Mycenaean civilization. The Mycenaeans were warriors and builders of fortified cities such as Mycenae and Tiryns. They dominated Greece between 1600 and 1100 BC. According to legend, they were also the heroes of the famous Trojan War, a war immortalized by the poet Homer in the epic poems Iliad and Odyssey. Yet by 1100 BC, Mycenaean civilization collapsed, plunging Greece into a mysterious period known as the Greek Dark Age. Following the fall of the Mycenaeans, much of Greece entered a period of decline. Cities were abandoned, writing disappeared, and trade slowed dramatically. This era, known as the Greek Dark Age, lasted from roughly 1100 BC to 800 BC. But out of this darkness, a new form of society began to emerge. Independent city-states, known as polis, developed across Greece. Among them were powerful centers such as Athens, Sparta, Corinth, and Thebes. Each city-state had its own government, laws, and army. Though they shared language, religion, and culture, these cities were often fierce rivals. One of the most revolutionary ideas in human history was born in Athens. Around 508 BC, the Athenian statesman Cleisthenes introduced a radical system of government known as Athenian democracy. For the first time, citizens, not kings, had the power to vote on laws and policies. Though limited only to free male citizens, this system laid the foundation for modern democratic governments around the world. Athens soon became a thriving center of art, learning, and philosophy. But even as Greek culture flourished, a powerful empire in the East threatened their independence. In the early 5th century BC, the massive Achaemenid Persian Empire attempted to conquer Greece. This conflict would become one of the most famous struggles in ancient history, the Greco-Persian Wars. In 490 BC, a Persian army landed near Athens. At the Battle of Marathon, a smaller Greek force achieved a stunning victory. 10 years later, Persia returned with a massive invasion. In 480 BC, at the narrow pass of Thermopylae, a small Greek force led by Leonidas, the first made a legendary stand against the Persian army. Though the Spartans were ultimately defeated, their sacrifice inspired the Greek alliance. Soon after, the Greek navy won a decisive victory at the Battle of Salamis, turning the tide of the war. By 449 BC, the Persian threat had been defeated. Following victory over Persia, Athens entered its golden age. Under the leadership of Pericles, the city became the cultural center of the ancient world. During this period, the magnificent Parthenon was built to honor the goddess Athena. Philosophers such as Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle began exploring questions about knowledge, ethics, and the nature of reality. Playwrights like Sophocles and Euripides transformed storytelling into dramatic theater. This era laid the intellectual foundations of Western thought. Yet the prosperity of Athens soon created tension among the Greek city-states. Rivalry between Athens and Sparta eventually erupted into a devastating conflict known as the Peloponnesian War. This war lasted 27 years, from 431 BC to 404 BC. Athens relied on naval power, while Sparta dominated on land. The war weakened the entire Greek world. In the end, Sparta defeated Athens in 404 BC, but the victory brought little stability. The Greek city-states remained divided and exhausted. This division would soon open the door for a powerful new kingdom to the north. In 359 BC, a determined ruler named Philip II of Macedon transformed the Kingdom of Macedonia into a military powerhouse. Philip reorganized the army and introduced the famous Macedonian phalanx formation. By 338 BC, he defeated the Greek city-states at the Battle of Chaeronea, bringing Greece under his control. But Philip's greatest legacy would come through his son. In 336 BC, Philip's son, Alexander the Great, became king. Over the next 13 years, Alexander would create one of the largest empires in ancient history. His armies conquered Egypt, Persia, and lands stretching all the way to India. Wherever Alexander went, Greek culture spread with him. This blending of cultures created the Hellenistic world, where Greek language, art, science, and philosophy influenced vast regions. When Alexander died suddenly in 323 BC, his empire fragmented among his generals. But the cultural influence of Greece would continue for centuries. Conclusion: though the political power of Greece eventually faded, its intellectual legacy endured. Greek thinkers shaped philosophy, science, mathematics, and political theory. Greek artists influenced architecture and sculpture. Greek storytellers created myths and dramas still told today. And the idea of democracy first experimented with in Athens would one day inspire nations across the globe. From a scattered collection of city-states emerged a civilization that changed the course of history. The legacy of ancient Greece still echoes through the modern world.